Lisa Z here. Look what I just came upon on our South Road. I do believe that's Mr. Brian and Mr. John. And you know what that is up there that they are working on? Well, on the left is a big sprayer. They spray for bugs and for diseases from that big machine. We'll look at that in just a minute. And then on the right is a big truck with big tanks on it, and they're refilling that sprayer from the tanks on that truck. I just wonder if we are really nice if Mr. Brian let us take a ride in that sprayer. I have never ever ridden in a sprayer. Oh, I think I'm gonna try it. Hey Brian, what are you doing?
Just spraying some beans.
All right.
Trying to keep them clean.
Trying to keep them clean. Hey, you got any room up there for a passenger?
Oh yeah, I got plenty of room.
You don't mind if I take a ride?
Nope, hop in, let's go.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, Brian.
No problem.
Whoa, this is so cool riding in this giant sprayer.
It's big and tall, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, yes! All right, Brian, tell me what this big old sprayer does.
This big old sprayer does a whole lot of things. It's just basically how we take care of our fields, outside of tillage equipment. Whether it's to control, unwanted pests and things that can hurt the plant, pest diseases, or just keep unwanted weeds out as well. So noxious weeds help keep them clean, or like we talked about when we were in the combine, fungicides and stuff like that to keep the plants healthy.
Okay, tell us again, what's a fungicide? Someone didn't see that video.
A fungicide is something we put on the plants to either cure it or prevent it from getting diseases.
Okay.
Yep, just keeps it happy and healthy.
And what's an insecticide?
An insecticide is something that would help either prevent or remove unwanted bugs, insects, like in the wheat there'll be aphids and beetles in the beans. Just something that would eat the plant, not only sometimes just eat it, but even give it diseases just by biting it. So.
Wow, are you kidding me? Those bugs are wicked.
They are wicked. So we got a little bitty field here just to finish up on, and then we'll move on to another one. But this is some of our first crop beans that we planted early on. So we're driving between the rows and trying not to run over any. And when we're unfolded here, we're 120 feet wide, so we can get over a lot of acres that way and not run over quite as much crop, while we do it.
Right. 100 and how many feet?
20.
120 feet.
Yep, 120
oh my
feet.
Goodness.
So we'll try to keep it out of the trees.
You call them those the booms, right?
That's the booms, yep.
Here comes the boom, right?
Here comes the boom, that's right.
You like that movie?
I like it.
I do too.
Yep, what we're doing here is more of a preventative pre-emergent herbicide is what we call it. So it's a herbicide that we put down, and it gets incorporated into the soil with rain. It helps move it around a little bit, and that's what we call activated. And then it won't let any weeds or grasses grow through that chemical once it's on the soil.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that's what keeps it clean.
As opposed to the other kind that it only kills when it hits.
Correct.
Right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So this is going to be for the long haul, the rest of the season, to keep weeds from coming up.
That's right. And you'll have a few, escapees in time and again, but nothing too major. So.
Right. All right. I'm going to face it the other direction so we can see what's in front of us. How cool is that?
Yep, and we're putting on 10 gallons to the acre, so that's what we're running through the sprayer right now. So if you think about how big an acre is, and then how little water that actually is.
10 gallons of water per acre.
Yes, so the water's the carrier, is what we'll call the carrier. So the water is the base, of our solution tank mix. So we fill it with water, and there's certain orders we want to mix chemicals as it goes into the sprayer. Just like certain activants and certain types of oils and what those chemicals are made out of. You need to put them in certain orders. So because some chemicals don't necessarily jive together very well. You could make jelly with them, or maybe one won't let like a fungicide do its act like it's supposed to and do its job correctly, and so you fill up what we call the carrier, which is just water.
Uh-huh.
You'll start pumping water in, and then you'll start adding chemicals as necessary. So
how in the world do you know what chemicals will do what, and which ones you can mix and which ones you can't?
We get a lot of help from some area representatives and stuff from some of these corporations. So these guys do a really good job of helping us out when we need it.
Excellent.
Because there's just so many products out there. It's really, when you don't necessarily deal with them every day. I mean, we do handle them every day when we're putting them on, but as far as just keeping up with the technology, they're constantly changing and changing beams and that kind of stuff.
Coming up with new ones all the time.
We need a lot of help, and that's kind of, luckily, the people that we buy from, they'll have representatives, area representatives and stuff.
Right.
We'll talk to them.
Wow, I can't believe you're done with that field already, Brian.
Yep, that's just a little 8-acre field, so it doesn't take too long.
That we were done before I even got started interviewing you.
I know. Yep, we've got 55 acres here, so we'll get you a little bit.
That was 8 acres.
That was 8
now we're doing 55 at the next corner.
That's the
Awesome.
beauty of southeast Kansas, is lots of little chopped up fields. We have lots of trees and creeks and roads and waterways and terraces.
I'll bet your dream field is one of these humongous ones that cover a whole section without any trees, terraces,
perfectly square,
irrigation units, perfectly square.
Yep.
Your dream
to spray.
Do you have any?
We don't have any. We have 180 it's still got a waterway in the middle of it, but it splits the edge of the boom just perfect, so it doesn't take me too long to do that one.
Cool. I sure appreciate you letting me ride in here with you.
Yep, no problem.
Brian, when I see the crop duster coming, or you coming, I kind of am ready to run in the house, because I really don't want to breathe this stuff.
Right.
So I'm very careful. When I start smelling it, I go on in the house. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. A lot of what we spray won't hurt you. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to take a drink out of it, but a lot of what we spray is, it's labeled specifically for, for humans to be able to handle.
Right.
But yes, always, if you're around this stuff, you want to try to wear your PPP, which is your personal protective equipment, so like just gloves, glasses, and then there's certain chemicals that are, they recommend you wear a mask with.
Now wait a minute here. Is that why you're wearing your PPP equipment at the moment?
That is not why I'm wearing my PPP. This sprayer is equipped with 2 cab filters, and that's one thing, the old timers used to do it on cabless tractors and bootless sprayers and sit there and mist that stuff all over them, and this thing has 2 different cab filters. The one on the outside, which is where it draws the air, obviously, for the air conditioner, it's a charcoal filter, and it's really, really expensive, but it does a really good job of grabbing hold of like those little very, very, very tiny particles of that chemical and cleaning it out. And then there's another filter inside that everything has to go through.
Sweet. And you know what? Right in here, I can't smell a single chemical.
No, you can't smell much of anything when you're in here.
I'm glad to hear it. I don't want anything to happen to you.
That's right. That's right.
Good for you. Oh, I see beans coming up. This is the very field we harvested that wheat in, wasn't it?
Yep.
And now you've planted beans right after you got rid of the wheat.
That's right.
And they're coming up. Oh, do you think this is a good stand, Brian?
This looks like a really good stand. This is actually the first time I've been here since Jim planted it.
We have not been out to look either to see what kind of a stand it was. We had so much rain after you planted these beans.
Yeah, we had 9 inches or something since we planted these.
We had 8.1 down here at our house. Yeah. And within a week's time, we had over 8 inches of rain. And that's not real good on a freshly planted field of beans, is it?
No, it's not. So luckily, these beans were coming up when it started raining. They were just coming up, and then we got a little more rain to kind of keep the ground nice and soft, and they went ahead and decided they'd go ahead and come.
Oh, and aren't we grateful for that?
Yes, we are.
Some more of those uncontrollable things things that we talked about when we were harvesting wheat.
Yep.
So many things that are out of our control
Yep. I was
in
worried,
farming.
a little bit worried maybe that we'd have a hard time getting this chemical pass done in time.
Did you think that it might be too muddy to get out
Yeah,
here?
yep, thought it might be too muddy, and fortunately we've had some real warm, sunny weather the last couple of days.
Yeah.
It's made a big difference.
I thought it was supposed to rain this afternoon. Did they call it off?
It's 60% chance at 2 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock came and went. No rain. So.
It did cloud up, but no rain yet.
No rain, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad for your sake so that you can get in here and get this done.
That's right.
Otherwise, the weeds might take over these beans, right?
Yep, that's right.
I noticed this thing has lots of monitors, too.
Yeah, one monitor with lots of buttons. So there's lots of things to look at and lots of things to control on it.
Yeah. Am I in your way? Can you see around me?
Yeah, you're just fine.
Okay.
Yep, you're just fine. So
Yeah.
It's this thing has boom height and section control and all that stuff. So it'll keep us from with section control. The sprayer's mapping all the time. It knows where it's been.
Really?
Yeah.
GPS, in other
Yeah,
words?
GPS in other words. So it does steer itself as well, just like the combines and the other tractors do.
Sweet.
But
You're
knowing,
just liable to get lazy,
I
Brian.
know, it's hard. That's why I get so tired in there.
You could take a nap,
I
couldn't you?
could.
Let this thing drive itself.
That's right.
Once you go around the outer perimeter, then it'll do itself.
Yeah, yeah. Then I'll set the auto steer in the line. You know, my GPS lines are all set and everything. It'll.
Sweet.
This one here is accurate enough, and with the planner having RTK on it, which is just it's a sub-inch accuracy type GPS system. So between the two, it does a really good job. It'll actually drive between the rows and not run over crop while it's doing it. So
Yes.
you can see why I'm in these corners here. You think, this is a nice big round corner. You should just drive right around it. Well, that at 120 feet, that inside boom is turning really, really, really short, and so it'll kind of back up and keep spraying in that one spot. And it's really important for us to be cautious about how much of some of these herbicides we're putting on, and so we really don't want double the rate,
Right.
right in that one spot. So you kind of need to, when you're doing pre-emergent herbicides, especially,
Yeah.
pull in and back into your corners and then come out, with a good hit of speed, and that way your rate's right where it needs to be.
If you put a double dose on it, would that probably kill the beans?
Yeah, this chemical we're spraying here would kill the beans if you spray too much. It'll speckle them up anyways.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing, just the technology, how they can, it looks like it's going to hurt them, it'll speckle them up for a couple of days, and then it'll come out of it and be just fine. So.
Sweet. Even if it rains on it, is that going to be okay?
Yeah,
if it rains this afternoon?
Yeah, we actually want the rain for what I call the activation. So,
Oh, that's right. You told us about
It takes
that.
the rain to activate this stuff. That's what you want.
Yes.
So yeah, if they got a rain on it tonight, that would be good for our chemical, but it wouldn't be good for us getting finished planting. So it's just barely getting dry enough for us to, start trying.
Yeah, well,
to get some more planting.
my sweet darling was kind of thinking we needed a rain already for the corn. Is that so?
I walked in some this morning, and it had plenty of moisture there still. So
Awesome.
I would like to see us be able to get the rest of the beans. If I could choose, I would choose to let us get the rest of the beans planted and up, and then take another rain.
And so how many more days of dry are we to be praying for, Brian?
Let's shoot for 4.
Okay, so what would that be? What is today? Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you want it to rain Sunday?
Yeah. If we could plant, if we could start planting good again tomorrow, we could be done by Sunday. So.
Oh, awesome. With all the after wheat beans, you'll be done planting?
Yes.
And spraying?
Yes.
Oh,
So
right.
here shortly, I have one more field after this, and I'll be caught up to the planters at that point. And so,
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
Yep.
This has been a hard, challenging year to get everything in because of the rain.
Yeah. Yep.
We are just tickle pink whenever you guys get one more thing done.
That's yep.
The
We are
wheat's
too.
done. Okay, the wheat's harvested. Now they need to get their beans
Yep.
planted. Their
This-
after wheat beans.
The sprayer is the only thing that doesn't get parked for a long period of time. It seems like because we run it all year.
Yeah.
We're spraying ground in the early spring and late in the fall, and even you'll see us out there in January. Spraying wheat ground and stuff sometimes.
Yeah,
So
we've seen you.
this sprayer gets to do lots and lots and lots. It's one of my favorite jobs. Because,
Really?
Yeah, I like it's a little more fast paced, which is great, and so I get to see lots of acres. But the neat thing is I get to see every corner of every field throughout the year. You know, so I get to see all the plants through all the progression and everything. You can kind of you learn your fields really well, and you get to come back and see them, I guess, throughout the year. So
Right.
it's really neat. We really like running the sprayer.
Brian, you said you like doing this in
Yes.
this big sprayer.
Yep, I do.
What would you think about driving that airplane, being a crop
The
duster?
airplane would be pretty fun. That's one thing maybe I do regret not doing. I was just talking to Alexander about that the other day. I wish I'd got my pilot's license. Not necessarily to become a crop duster, just because I'd like to be able to fly
I
an
can
airplane.
see you flying a plane, Brian, because you are an adventurer,
No,
aren't you?
it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh,
but,
yes.
I think as far as like a crop kind of management standpoint, the ground rig is definitely the way to go. You just have so much more variance as far as coverage, being able to use more gallons per acre. Like we're talking about, you know, here that seems pretty low.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of fungicides that they spray, they recommend they want you to spray, you know, minimum of 15 gallons an acre or 20 gallons an acre, and it takes
Yes.
a lot of water to do that.
Yes.
And this sprayer right here you're riding in, it'll hold 1,200 gallons.
1,200 gallons of water
Yep,
and
1,200
spray
gallons.
mixed together.
Yes, and
Our
spray mixed
chemicals.
together. Yep.
Yeah.
So our solution mix holds 1,200 gallons.
What does a plane hold, do you know?
I think a big plane might hold 400 gallons, but I'm not sure.
That's not that much.
No, and the reason, so a lot of airplanes will only spray, I think if you can get an airplane to spray 4 gallons the acre, that's a lot. A lot of times they'll only spray 3 gallons to the acre. And
Does
that's
it
why
do any good?
it does. It still does good. The other, it doesn't do as good, I guess. Your
Yeah.
coverage isn't quite as good,
Uh-huh.
but it's definitely better than nothing.
Exactly
for sure.
right.
You know, and we've seen some significant differences having the airplanes do it. And sometimes even, you know, like with our wheat, you know, we talk about how wet, you've talked about how wet it's been this spring.
Yes.
And when it's just really, really wet, I mean, there's just nothing you can do. I mean, you got to leave the ground rig in the spray or in the shed and call the airplane guys and have them come. So
Do you know the pilot personally?
I don't remember his name. We just drop it off and take this.
Oh, you drop the spray to
Yeah,
him.
take the chemical down and.
And where is he stationed out of?
Miami, Oklahoma.
There you go. That's about an hour away by car.
Yeah, by car. And I think he said it takes him like 20 minutes or something to get here in his plane.
Wow.
So that's not too bad. So, but if they have to fly, you know, even 15 minutes one direction, you know, they want to try to spray as many acres as they can, and that's what goes back to that.
Yeah.
You know, only being able to spray 2 or 3 gallons an acre. So we really like the coverage, and then, you know, like this field here, and like that little field we started in. You know,
Yes.
It's 8 acres. It has roads on either side,
Yeah.
and trees on the other side, and it's not square.
Yes.
I mean, that airplane's going to have a really hard time. And it's not that they're not trying. You know, those guys are doing the best that they can, and those pilots are amazing.
They are.
But
They
it's
are.
You just can't quite get 100% coverage. And
They're
when
just
you're-
limited in what they can do,
yeah,
aren't
when you're
they?
in the field with this thing, you know you're getting 100% coverage. And the other thing, difference for the ground rig is just the accuracy as far as, you know, chemical placement. So like if you can see that, you know, like a little, it'll just kick on.
Yep.
That's the sprayer's doing that on its own.
You're not turning it on and off?
No, it's spraying where it knows it hasn't sprayed yet.
Isn't that amazing? That thing's smarter than me, Brian.
Yep. And it's 120 feet. But what do you do if you got 4 feet left for
Yes.
100 yards? You know, in what we call
Yep.
a point row.
Yep.
It'll shut off all maybe 11 sections except for the one. It's got
Yeah.
12 sections on it, so it'll shut 11 sections off and just spray. You know,
Oh,
that 8-foot strip.
wow.
And that way you're not, you know, putting too much product on, you know, to either hurt the plants or you know, sterilize soil or something of that nature. And
Yeah.
that, it's not wasteful either. I mean,
That is
it's
amazing.
Very expensive, and it's
Yeah, it is expensive. I knew that. But it's expensive if you don't put it on too, isn't it?
that's exactly right. Yep.
The
Yeah.
bugs take over, or the
Yeah.
fungus and diseases.
Yep. Weed pressure is a big thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. It sure is fun riding in one of these sprayers, Brian.
I like it. Rides really nice, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's very comfortable. A little bumpy, but
A little
no
bit
big
bumpy,
deal. Of
yeah.
course, the ground is bumpy, so what can you say?
Yep. And it's all air ride, so it's.
I see that seat you're sitting on bouncing up and
Yeah.
down as we hit the whoa!
There you go. Air ride, and the seat's air ride, but it's all independent suspension too. So each tire has its own airbag basically, and two big shocks that run up and down. So it's self-leveling. So if you parked it on a hill, it would dump air in one side and air up the other side to keep it level.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it'd be hard to get all your chemical out of your tank if it was parked like this and then it was all sloshed over to one side.
Oh my! I am amazed at what people can invent to help us with our jobs.
Engineering is, it's pretty amazing on this stuff.
Do you think you'd like to be an engineer next after you get finished farming, Brian?
I think when I get finished farming, I may just go on vacation for a long time.
Yeah, have you picked out a place yet?
Not yet.
Oh, come on.
Might be more than one place.
What's on your bucket list?
I've never been to Bora Bora.
Bora
I'd like to go
Bora.
there. Yep, I'd like to go to Bora Bora. That, and my brother has been to Ireland, and he said it was amazing, so I'd like to go see Ireland
wow.
too. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You would take your kids and your wife with you, right?
Probably my wife, maybe grandma.
Maybe grandma could watch the kids and give you a real break.
Yep. Nope.
We love our babies, but we kind of need time together as a couple too, don't we?
We would take them, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Maybe you could learn to dance an Irish jig for us.
That'd be all right. If I learn one, I'll show you.
Oh, that's a deal. I'm gonna hold you to it.
I got a feeling I could be farming for a few more years, though.
And by the time you're done, you won't be able to dance that Irish jig.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Steve's down in the back today, so.
Oh, yeah?
You begin to feel those aches and pains as you get on the other side of farming.
I'm feeling them already.
Well, we sure appreciate you, Brian. You do a great job for us here at the farm.
Yeah, but we try.
Are we done with this field?
We're done with this field, so that was our 55 acres.
Sweet. Well, are you going to get your nap now?
I got one more farm to do, and then I'll get a nap.
Oh,
but I think I'll go plant some beans.
Yeah, keep on working. You don't even know how to quit, do you?
Oh, I don't know.
And there he goes, Mr. Brian and his big old sprayer. That was so much fun, wasn't it?